So welcome to Slurry Technology. Today I'm doing a live stream and unboxing of the new RGB DACs. I got the package today from PCBWay, sent via DHL, and I also got a couple other things. So first thing I'm going to unbox is the boxes. So these are little cardboard boxes I got, and you know, there's a lot of logistics when you start trying to produce something, and you have to really think about all of it. So I ordered 50 boxes from Amazon and to ship everything in, and that's just going to go in here, obviously with a little bubble wrap and also an anti-static bag, and that's how it's going to be shipped. So then there's also serial numbers. So the idea is I want to label each one of these so people know, so I know which ones were sent out, what vendor sold them. And granted, these are a little bit bigger than I wanted. You think, oh, it's about it. Like, I thought they were supposed to be smaller than this, but on the back, I don't think it'll be that much of a problem. What do you guys think? I mean, yeah. So, well, on to the main thing. This is a box of 100 DACs. So, first of all, is my audio coming in? Let me see. Hold on. Testing. Okay, I think it is. Testing. Sorry, cover your... Okay, I don't know why that mic was open. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and start with the unboxing. And also, if you're wondering why there's blue tape there, I just wanted to redact the, my address and whatnot. I tried to do an unboxing before, but for JLPCB, and I did an unboxing, but I had my name. I did a recording, and I had, my name and address in the front, and I didn't notice that until I did the editing. I'm like, okay, I guess I can't show that. So I did a modified version. This is actually the first time I've ever ordered from PCBWay, which is not only do they manufacture PCBs, but they also can source parts for you and do the PCB assembly. So the PCB assembly means that after the boards are done, the actual PCB is done, and what they'll do is they'll load it up with some load up their pick and place machines with different components, and then they will use these pneumatic machines that will just literally pick and place every little component out of the board. And I'm sorry, before that they'll actually do a what's called apply solder paste. So they'll put like kind of a stainless steel silk screen and apply paste over the silk screen, pull it up, and then send it to the pick and place machine. And once that's done, it will go through a reflow oven, which will reflow all the paste, solder paste is really like these little mini solder balls with suspended in flux, and it reflows it, and that's how you get surface mounted devices. So anyway, so this is my first time actually also ordering something from a PCBA. I used to use JLPCB. They're the first ones I use, and I think I had 4 boards done with them. Wow. So, here's how they package everything. So, I mean, this has been an extreme learning experience for me. So, you're going to see there's extra parts here that they have, and wow, they actually included that's interesting. So, they charge you like per part, but apparently they give you not only the leftover stuff, not only the stuff that I misordered, but the stuff, I guess, leftover parts that they order specifically for these boards. They always I guess they add that to the cost of the boards, is they always over order how much they need, because there's always going to be waste when it comes to pick and place. And I guess I'm just confused why there's all these resistors in here. I did actually make a pretty pricey mistake by ordering screwing up my bomb, which bill of materials, I put had a couple typos in there, and instead of N-channel MOSFETs, which I needed for these boards, I got P-channels. So so a couple of pros and cons. So I ordered 100 of the boards. Right off, they look fairly nice. They do come in these anti-static bags. And I was hoping they'd all be individually packaged, but they actually double pack some of them. They're actually still connected to each other, so I have to break them apart and source additional ESD bags. Let's see, what else did they include? Oh, that's neat. So I didn't expect this. You know, you order something and you always think you're going to get screwed. I mean, I haven't even tested the boards. See, these could not even work for all I know, but they actually did include quite a few of the different boards. So these are the blank PCBs that they did not send to the pick and place. So, and actually, what they do is they build them. They manufacture the PCBs on a kind of a giant on a giant PCB. So they make one gigantic PCB, and then they score it, and then what they do, then they break it apart. So that way, but they only do that after that it goes to the pick and place. That way they can just send everything together. So set these over here for now. Let's see. So here's all the extra parts, which I was kind of surprised about. And no, I did not get any type of. They didn't give me I'm not paid. They're not doing this for free. I had to pay them. I just wanted to do kind of an unbiased unboxing and review. I mean, just looking at it closely, I think it looks good. So what we're going to do right now is going to just do one more show and tell, and we're going to go to my bench. I'm starting to get annoyed by this OBS software because it looks like it likes to mute certain things. So I need to learn it a little better. So here we have different PCBs, and these are the blanks. So the big difference between these blanks and the ones from JLPCB that I ordered is, of course, here. So I ordered the PCBWay PCBs, which is called in gold. So the pads are in gold. Now it's called immersion nickel gold, which is, I know the light's kind of reflecting, but I don't know how well you guys can see that. So, and this is using lead. I forget what's 8 Hazel lead. So, but I'm glad that they sent it like this. I mean, it looks kind of pretty. It actually holds up better in the long run as far as like if you're going to keep the bare boards. There's quite a few other advantages to doing the immersion gold. It's also more expensive, but I mean it looks pretty. One of the big things I wanted is I wanted that gold RGB. In my other boards I had just silk screens, so that's kind of the big difference between the boards. And let me see if I can get this stupid light. So let's open up our first board and check it out. I wonder if I actually have anybody watching this active stream. So here's our first board, and annoyingly enough, they didn't. So they scored this part right here. They actually scored it, but they didn't break it off. I don't know why they didn't do that. Check something. Actually, it looks like somebody is. I don't know if there's anybody that's actually even watching. I see 2 concurrent viewers, so I don't know if it includes me or not. But I didn't advertise this stream. So it looks like they kept this on, so I'm going to try it. Yep, just that breaks off. And so if you can notice, this is the one that I assembled myself by hand. This one has the headers attached. This one doesn't. So at the time when I was doing it, when I was working on this, I needed to really get this in, but I was having issues finding headers that I really wanted. So I'm basically putting the order in, and I'm about to have them go vertical because these headers, these bigger ones that you see right here, these long ones, are kind of a little bit too big. I mean, it's just too loose, and that was causing problems. So I'm trying to source them, and it's actually more difficult than you think to do. So I have a little bag over here. Finally managed to find a supplier. So, and as you can see right here, these fit into this, and so these 2.54 millimeter pitch connectors are smaller and also are much tighter on the couplers. So yeah, that's kind of hard to push in. I don't know how well you can see that. Oh, hey, how you doing, Brandon? Man, that gold slick coating looks really nice. Well, thank you very much. So, couple things. First, I was having issues sourcing these, and the only place I could find them in sufficient quantity and price was in China. So after some hemming and hawing, I just ordered about like a few hundred of them. So, like, I don't know how well you can see this. So, ordered a bunch of them. Like, I think maybe 200-300 or 400, who knows. And they worked. But I wasn't gonna bother the manufacturer to assemble it because I kind of already submitted the order. So I actually canceled the application of headers because everything that let me rewind. So I actually submitted the order, and they couldn't find the headers for a cost that was reasonable to me. I mean, you're talking about 100 boards times 6 of these headers, and you know, it adds up quickly when they want, like, you know, $1.25 per header, and it really impacts your BOM. So the idea is you want to try to find a source of them that's going to be good quality but at the same time reasonable price. So if they like the you know, passive capacitors, resistors, even these ICs right here, I mean, they were able to source them for dirt cheap. I mean, it was impressive how cheap I was able to get them. These headers actually sourced in China from the same place I bought them for the board I made. So I just had them shipped directly to PCBWay. So I did a partial where I shipped these. Then some of the other parts, like these ICs, the MOSFETs, the fuses, and this header. I think this header was like $1.50 or something. But, like, I mean, so BOM can really impact the cost of a board, and the cheaper you make it, the better it is for you. And there's one other reason why I didn't want them to put the headers on. The other thing is that I'm making a 5-volt version, and at the time I have no idea how many of these I'm going to produce. So the 5-volt version is actually going to have these style headers, which are much larger and much thicker. These are square, these are round. So these actually, the 5-volt version is going to be for Thermaltake analog RGB fittings, and that's what I have on my computer. And the idea is they can plug them directly into this and it'll work, and they can address their fittings separately. And this little jumper right here is 12 volt and 5 volts, so it uses a floppy drive power connector right here, and then I have 2 more headers to solder on. So as I'm doing this all by hand, it's not going to be fun for 100 boards, but more importantly, it's kind of to test the market. So I didn't want to have, like, you know, half of them done for the 5 volt and half of them done for the 12 volt. If no one bought the 5 volt, then I'd be, you know, kind of just holding on to them. So the idea is I'm going to build about a dozen of each, and then see what the market shows, who buys them, and then based off how the sales go, I'll just, you know, produce, I guess, you know, a dozen or 2 at a time, based off the popularity of the boards. And then from there, when I do another run, I know where to source these. I can I can easily source these, and then we can and then I don't have to do the assembly. But I do like how they sent this, and I'm actually planning on doing some wall art with these. I'm going to frame some of these and also the stainless steel stencils. And let me actually show you what I meant by this. When I was talking about solder paste previously, what I did is for the JL PCB ones, what I did is I ordered a stencil along with the boards. So what I do is I just get a board, make sure it's going the right way, and then put it, I don't know if you can see that, I put it in like that, lay it on like that, and all these holes are line up with the surface mount devices. And I just get a credit card, I put some solder paste on it, and I just swipe across it, and it applies it like a silk screen, and I lift it up, and I have an equal amount of solder paste on everything. And then I just get my good old pair of tweezers, and I just pick and place all the surface mounted devices. On the other hand, the through hole stuff is a little bit different. That requires a little bit of soldering, hand soldering, and as opposed to reflowing them. So that's what I got this for, or why I made this for. So this is, I guess we call it a jig. And the idea is I have a couple standoffs here, and what I attach this PCB to this, and it's kind of a brace. And what I do is I put the headers right here, and then I just, the idea is I just drop it down on there and just solder each point, and then just take it off. So I had to remove like the tops of these, that way I could kind of bend it up and pull it out, as opposed to you know, just having it stuck there. So there might be a better way to build a jig like this, but I guess I haven't really researched it. I kind of just looked at it myself and said, how can I do this? And it would have been actually easier if I did the vertical headers, because I could have just gone like this jig was actually designed for vertical headers, but I found the horizontal headers, which is going to make it nice because I can stack everything. So let's see how this new board stacks up. No pun intended. So let's see here. So it looks like, I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, it can just sit right there, and I'm going to probably solder it. So one difference between these boards and the new ones is these are going to be lead free, because apparently we all like to eat lead and die from it. You know, like I know Europe has some strict laws against using lead, and that's what I primarily use. That's what a lot of hobbyists use, because it uses less heat. Also, I think it also uses less, requires less flux, which burns off and creates toxic fumes. So you're not breathing that in. So there's pros and cons, but I'm getting some leadless solder. This is Kessler, and I'm getting some Kessler leadless solder tomorrow, and I might just wait till tomorrow to build the first board. So hoping to get something done by tonight, but I have a very tumultuous 3-year-old, so that ends that. Let's see, if I have any questions. I have how many the 10 were 5 volt? That stencil is, yeah, thank you, Brandon. So let's see. Well, the 10, so let's see, I made about, so the 5 that I made, I think I made I think I made about 5 or 6 of them that were 12 volt, and that was the white board, the prototype board. So Brandon is one of the guys that prototyped this for me, and I sent him one that looked like this. So, and I also sent a few other people the white version, and this is the one that I was thinking about going for fan header and to be honest, trying to source a custom like cable was just being a pain in the butt. You know, the God fact is pretty much every power supply comes with a floppy drive connector still. There's more exceptions than anything else. Like all the non-modular have one at least, and then the modular ones usually come with one. Both, like I said, both my Corsair AX1200i came with one, and so does my EVGA. But yeah, so the redesign was going from this and a couple other little minor changes, but kind of, I guess on a circuit level, you know, everything, you know, is pretty much identical other than the connections. So yeah. So any questions that you have? I know I'm at about 10 minutes now. Oh yeah, so these are going to be sold by Mod My Mods, which is a mod shop here in Rochester. Good guys. You know the owner Joe, and actually did a stream with Kevin, which is their marketing guy, this past week. So check out that stream. Also, I did also I'm having a friend of mine, Jay, that's also a beta tester. He's going to be selling them on his eBay site, which is Pirate Dog Tech on eBay. So check out his site. He sells a lot of custom cables. If you're looking for weird, you know, addressable Corsair to addressable non-Corsair like Asus headers, you know, he sells them. So check that out if you're in the market for it. Well, thank you very much for tuning in. Feel free to subscribe, but I probably think that most of the people that are watching this are interested. And thank you very much. Hopefully this will be in the stores in the next week or so. I have to finish assembly and test them out, and hopefully all goes well. So, well, thank you very much.